Cool. We're 10 minutes past here, so maybe we can go ahead and get started. We'll
Sure.
we'll do cool. Great. Then people can join as we go. So let me kick things off here. Thank you everyone for joining. We've got two amazing communities coming together here. Three technically, if you include the Great Boys and the and NFT Worlds and Axolittles. Really glad to have an amazing guest today, ArkDev, who's been busy building some amazing things over at NFT Worlds and Great Boys and really pushing some of the boundaries over there. So we're really excited to have you on and kind of discuss what you're building out. We can talk a bit about what we're building out here too, and a little bit about our partnership. So first things first, thanks for joining. We've also got Minnie here. So maybe the first thing we can do is just have both of you quickly introduce yourself again. I think everyone here knows who you are, but maybe just a quick overview, and then we can dive in to a couple things here. Um, all right, Deb, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, sure. My name's ArkDev. I do the lead of development on NFT Worlds. I'm one of the co-creators. Also, one of the co-creators of an associated DAO project called Grey Boys. But yeah, I've been in the NFT space for a while now. Been a blockchain dev for a long time, and solely focused on building out these two great projects and delivering value and making some cool stuff for everyone.
Awesome. Well, thanks for diving in again, and we'll get into just some things about the projects you're building and also just NFTs generally today. Minnie, you want to also give a quick overview of who you are, what you're building?
Yes, so I'm Mini, short for Mini Yami, and I'm the artist and one of the founders of Axolotl. I mainly work on the art side. I would say I'm the art director for the project that we're building, the Aquarium. We're trying to build an intimate, I would say, metaverse for all our holders, and yeah, I guess that's how I would define myself.
Cool. That's great. Thank you. Thanks for joining again. I'm Zyder. I work on the marketing side here at Axos, and we're building out a ton of stuff on we can also dive into on the partnership side and just on how we're rolling out some of uh, our different things upcoming for the community. A lot of cool stuff that we're working on. So great to have everyone here. Great to, if you're joining from the NFT Worlds community too. Welcome. Great to have you here. We always love hanging out. We do these every week. We usually have great guests on. We also give some updates about Axos. I think I'm going to kick things off here by first we have an exciting announcement. We're going to be doing a giveaway here. So I'm going to tweet out a tweet that's going to be a collaborative tweet between NFT Worlds and Axolittles. So we have huge news. We're going to be giving away an NFT world. This is going to be world 6303. And I'm going to tweet it now so that everyone has access to that and can see that on the official Axolittles Twitter. All you have to do, like a lot of these giveaways, is retweet, tag some friends, and follow our accounts. We're really doing this to celebrate our partnership. As we announced a few weeks back, we're going to be developing some custom skins for Axolittles in the NFT world. So that should be super exciting. And I'm going to tweet that out right now. Cool. So that should be live. So you can head over to the Axolittles Twitter. All you have to do is follow the instructions on there. This is a huge giveaway. We've obviously all seen some of the excitement booming around NFT worlds in the last week here. So really excited to be offering this to our community here. So go check that out. ArkDev, anything else that you want to mention just about this specific world? And for our community who may not be totally familiar, do you want to give a quick overview of what people can do in NFT worlds?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the specific world is, one we've had in our giveaway vault. It's been a while since we did a giveaway, and we thought, what better time than now to do one? Um, but yeah, with NFT worlds, they're kind of their own individual metaverses that when multiplayer goes live will be interlinked. You can go in them, create a bunch of different experiences, places to hang out, games, etc. in the future. For friends, community, whomever you open your world up to be able to hang out in and enjoy. I'm sure like within the Axolotls community, you guys have an awesome community world that's like built by your entire community, and I watch it pretty frequently. It's really cool. But that's just another example of some of the many things you can do with them. They're just creative ecosystems you can build on.
Very cool. Yeah, the Axolittles community has been super busy building ours out. If you want to join that, you can join a Discord and dive in and help build it. It's pretty amazing what's been built already, and I
Yeah,
know, like, just from watching our community build, I've seen what's possible in these worlds, which is pretty awesome.
yeah, definitely. I love what you guys are doing.
Cool. And looks like we're getting a bunch of retweets on that already. So go and check that out if you want to enter to win this NFT world. Cool. And I would say, and again, you can join our world. Do you have a community kind of? Do you have a channel in your Discord where you share different worlds from different communities, or how do you kind of link people to ones that people are building out?
Yeah, we don't yet. As soon as like we release like our supported multiplayer server, we plan to. But like you guys kind of got ahead of things, which is awesome. And we're able to host like with the vanilla Minecraft servers. But yeah, we're happy to tweet that out. I'm sure people would love to go into a world right now and see kind of like what's being done. And you guys have a great example of that. So maybe we can organize something after the Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, definitely. I think just like seeing the inspiration, because when you see the blank worlds are cool, but then you see like wow, you can build out something that looks like an Axo or like a bored ape or something like that right into these, and it's pretty
Yeah,
cool to see.
yeah, totally.
Um, cool. So I think also just before diving into a bit more NFT world stuff, it'd be cool to give just a couple brief Axo updates, and we can chat more about also Gray Boys and what's happening there. On the Axo side, we launched staking. Our interface is now up, so we're really excited about that, and we've crossed, I think, 1,300 staked, which is pretty awesome to see. So if you're listening, you can stake your Axos on our interface. That's staking.axolittles.io. You get bubbles in return, and we'll be kind of rolling out everything you can use your bubbles for, in addition to things we've outlined already in the coming days and weeks here. So keep an eye out for that. But lots of people earning their bubbles already, and it's really exciting to see people getting amped about that. So that was a major milestone for us that we're really excited about. These things take a ton of work behind the scenes to get out, so we're really excited to have this for the community, um, and to be able to grow that out and build out what you can do with your bubbles. Maybe there's something that you can there's some type of collaborative things that we can work out with NFT Worlds. Also, I know you guys are rolling out your token also. Do you want to talk about the token that you're rolling out as well?
Yeah, sure. I can touch on the collaborative stuff real quick though.
Yep.
There with when we launch our open source server, there is going to be a blockchain interaction layer that you can develop on top of. So like with your guys' token, you would be able to build like redeemables into your own community world where people could pay bubbles in order to get like either access to content, items, perks, whatever within your guys' specific NFT world. So something to think about,
Cool.
if you want to extend the functionality.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, but yeah, so like with world token is something that we really wanted to develop a like an economical ecosystem with across all the NFT worlds, and we need a unifying token to be able to do that. And so what World's basically going to be is sort of a play to earn token where there's going to be quests, competitions, different things that just regular players, they don't have to be NFT World owners, but just regular players within the NFT World's ecosystem, can earn by finishing these tasks, quest competitions, different things that world owners create for them, etc. And that world token can also be used within different worlds and exchanged for access to exclusive content. If it's like a battle royale world, it may be access to upgraded items. If it's an RPG, stuff like that. Or we have people building casinos already that are going to be built on top of the world token. So like
Crazy.
you will probably be able to gamble your world token, in that type of an ecosystem. So there's all these use cases, and it's just kind of like the generalized in any kind of MMO type video game. You have a currency, and it basically acts as that within the ecosystem.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's cool to hear about just integrating other projects and other tokens in that way. We definitely take that approach too. It's exciting to see all these different virtual worlds emerging and creating something that's going to be like collaborative or work across them.
Yeah,
I think is going to be something that wins out in the end.
totally. Yeah. We really want to give as much functionality and creativity to the community to go out and like have the flexibility to build these awesome ideas and things on top of the NFT Worlds platform.
Yep. Minnie, do you want to jump in also and just comment on kind of the ecosystem or the economy of the Axoquarium type of world too, and how that could interact potentially with other tokens or with other projects also?
So I guess it's a complicated question. That would be better to maybe ask to Otter. I know that I like some knowledge on tokens, and he would probably be able to give you a more detailed answer than I can. But yeah, I think what we could do is maybe have items that could be in different worlds and stuff like that. You could maybe have an item in the Axoquarium that you could recreate in Minecraft, for example, and stuff like that. If it uses the blockchain, anything is possible. But yeah, I guess that would be a question for Otter if he comes next week.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I know we're working on collaboratively bringing in art, but we have to still work out how the token will function and together with other tokens and things like that within that economy. So definitely a lot of things getting built, and it's exciting to kind of be exploring that with other projects and actively building with our own project. On that front, just before diving into some of the token stuff again, Minnie, do you want to give a quick update just on the state of the art and the world that we're building as well?
Yeah, so as I've said last week, the art, well, it was pretty much done, and now it's done. We have all the assets. I've been posting some screenshots on Twitter recently. You've seen the Cosmic, the robot as well. And so right now we're working on basically going through every model and integrating it in the Axoquarium version 1. And as well, yeah, we're hiring a new artist that will do the environment. So we had a character artist that designed the Axolotls themselves, and for the art we'll have one and probably multiple artists working on some furniture and stuff like that. And so right now we're wondering how to present the Axoquarium in the first version. In the first version we said that you wouldn't be able to own any furniture and stuff like that. So we were wondering what would happen if we put furniture in the first version, but we took it out of the second, because technically you wouldn't own it. It would be an item that you could place. But we might do something like every item in the first version of the Axoquarium, every furniture in the room would be gifted to you when you join the second version of the Axoquarium. Basically, when we update, you would receive a free starter pack for the Axoquarium. And yeah, what else could I say?
Yeah,
I guess that's mostly it.
that's awesome. Yeah, and for those for those joining from NFT Worlds too, just to get you up to speed, we're on our front We're also building out what we call the Axoquarium, which is a virtual space where you can see your axolotls, but also items from partner projects. So there could be some type of item that we bring in from NFT worlds that you can then see in your room, show off to your friends, or move around the world, or move around the room in kind of the second version. So definitely keep an eye out for that. The art is looking amazing as far as the 3D art goes, and it's, I think, pretty much complete, if I'm not wrong, Minnie, as far as the actual art goes.
It's completed, and so yeah, the art I would say is of really high quality. So if you look at the textures, you can see that it's very nice, I would say. So an issue we had actually is that the textures are actually too high of too high quality, and so to fit it, so we want to make it as accessible as possible for people. So it would run in a browser. It would be based on Unity, and so we have to reduce as much as possible the textures actually. So
Yep.
yeah, and basically after that it will be possible to port on mobile as well, because if it can run in a browser, it can run pretty much everywhere. So we want to make it accessible.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you can check out the Axo Twitter page for that. The models are looking pretty breathtaking, especially for the cosmic ones. Those are totally insane. For ArkDev, for the art for your side and the skins like that, how is your team approaching that? Yeah.
Yeah. Are you talking about like within NFT worlds?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So because we're building on top of the Minecraft ecosystem, there are a lot of mods on the server side that open up the ability to do custom models, custom skins, stuff like that within playable worlds. And because we're building out our own game client and launcher, we also have control over it on the client side as well. So we can do these cross-world compatible world player models, skins, and support for them. And so this is like what we plan to do. This is going to be the same tech that when Axolittles in the future, builds out their playable characters within NFT worlds, you guys will be building on top of that. The Gray Boys part of our roadmap was they're going to be the first featured models and characters within NFT worlds. So, like when we open up this system, we're going to be immediately showcasing that functionality where you can play as a Gray Boy alien running around different NFT worlds and have a very unique model and skin compared to the default one that most players would otherwise have. And we think like in the future, as more projects continue to come on board, and more NFT communities, open their eyes up to like what's possible in the NFT world, we're going to start seeing all of these different models and skins and characters from all these different NFT projects running around worlds together and players hanging out together, and it should be really fun.
That's super cool. Yeah, we're very excited to have our skins, and I know our community is going to be super excited about that. I mean, they're already overly hyped about just building out the world, and then if they can custom make their characters more custom, that's gonna be awesome. Do you want to also just talk? You mentioned Grey Boys DAO, just how everything's gone with that, and just a little bit about the project. I'm sure our community would love to hear that as well.
Sure, yeah. So the Grey Boys DAO was a secondary project that, while I had been working on, primarily a lot of the engineering dev work with our engineering team, our artist Temp Tranquil had some downtime, and we had talked about, there's this idea of a metaverse DAO and this whole shared proxied ownership idea that we came up with that, we kind of wanted to look into. So he built out, a bunch of the art. We got that project launched, and so the whole idea behind the Grey Boys DAO is it ties back into NFT worlds from the standpoint of playable characters and skins and being the first compatible in the future within NFT worlds. But there's also a lot of unique utility in itself as the DAO. So the idea of the Grey Boys DAO is that we figured out a way to proxy ownership of NFTs to other wallets. So what that means is, in the future, when that feature launches, you'll be able to access the perks and utility of any NFT that's held by the DAO wallet for the project, as if you own them yourself. So we can basically hand off like to all these ownership verification systems the ability to prove that by proxy, you have access to, at the blockchain level, what is used to verify ownership, and therefore all these systems will, grant you ownership access, assuming in the way that they would think that you own them, when in reality it's the DAO. And so that's going to open up the ability for people to access exclusive content across NFT projects that they otherwise might be priced out of because floor prices are way too high, or communities, and a bunch of other perks. So it's kind of like this idea of bringing in all these great NFT projects underneath the DAO, and just by holding a gray boy, you're going to get access to the perks and utility of those projects in the future.
Super cool. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. How have you found like the just communicating? It seems like such a new concept of like breaking down that the like proxy ownership. How have you found that to like land with a community, and kind of the excitement around that?
Yeah. So our community is really excited about it. We're really excited about it too. We think it's going to be an eye opener in the NFT space in general, because I don't think, uh, uh, well, I should say, had we not done this first, someone else will eventually have done it, but it has nothing like this has been done yet. And as soon as communities start to see like hundreds to thousands of members joining them that have this proxied ownership access, and therefore get verification through these ownership verification systems because of how we've built in directly at the blockchain layer, where there's not really a great way to circumvent it. um, I think it's going to, really open eyes that like these walled gardens of communities and like exclusive perks in the Web3 space aren't 100% enforceable, and like in the vein of the philosophy of Web3, where it's like openness, decentralization, tearing down these kind of wall gardens that were common in Web2. That kind of philosophy is going to come to light across these communities, and we're curious to see like what happens. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of everything, a lot of excitement, a lot of like what the heck is going on, a lot of like, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic between like holding, or between this NFT where it's all kind of about proving ownership and creating open communities around that, and like how those two things interact, like what rights you have for holding it, but then also how, what that opens up across communities and things like that. So I think there's a lot of dynamics that will be worked out just around bringing kind of this like kind of first phase where it's like you're really the owner of your NFT, to like all the other things that kind of opens up for you across communities.
Yeah, totally.
And Minnie, do you want to jump in too? Because I know like just on that front, we've been thinking a lot just about building also across communities and how we bring them into our world, and just like representing those communities in the actual Axo Aquarium. Minnie, do you want to chime in just with how maybe
Yeah,
some thoughts about how you think about that?
yeah. So I definitely think the way forward for all the NFT projects, it's not about competition, because you have too much competition, I would say, in this space. Uh, the way for everyone to, there's always this saying, "Wag me, we're all gonna make it." Uh, the way forward is to collaborate between projects, and I think that's what directly brings value, and it brings communities together. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get into this, I would say, web of projects that are connecting together. It's like a new birth of the internet. I would say all these projects are branching out, and we're all connecting. And I think these projects are the ones that will succeed, because we have so many metaverses, and so you should aim to have your character, for example, Axolotls in our metaverse, but we're trying to branch out in other metaverses as well. We could consider the Minecraft worlds, uh, some form of metaverse as well. And so we're looking to collaborate with our projects, but also artists, and we're trying to bring uh, other projects inside of our own metaverse. So right now we're working on getting all the 3D axolotls inside our uh, Axo Aquarium. But the next step would be when we have a good functional version, it would be to add the other communities. So we could design 3D models for the apes, the punks, and all of that. And so anyone could enter and enjoy the world with their avatar of choice. So you wouldn't have to change your identity every time. Because yeah, right now for most people in this space, their avatar is their identity.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a super good vision. Thanks for the inspiring words there too. I think um, everyone that we're bringing in kind of has the same mentality. We're all going to make it. There's a meme that was shared, and we'll be getting the winners out. Don't worry. That's the it's not Wagyu. It's Wag me. We're all going to make it together, and I think we're building something pretty special together here. Um, just a reminder for people joining, we have a ton of people here. Um, we're doing a giveaway of an NFT world number 6303. We've tweeted that out on the Axolittles Twitter. We got a ton of responses already, so be sure to go and add your name, retweet, and follow both accounts. Definitely excited to see all the engagement there between our communities. Um, and ArkDev, maybe do you want to jump in? I'm curious, just like just a few questions about the space as a whole. We've obviously seen a lot of excitement around NFT worlds recently. Um, do you have any thoughts on why that is, why it's kind of taking off the way it is now, and just what that's kind of been like for you?
Sure. I think the biggest catalyst for the recent run up was we hadn't had very clear documentation on exactly all the details of the project. In one place, it was very easy to read and very easy to go through and understand like just everything about what we're doing and like why it is new, why it is going to be impactful in the future for the metaverse space, etc. And as soon as we launched our docs website, it's docs.nftworlds.com. It just started to get a lot of pickup, retweets. I think people, that were really doing their due diligence and researching into the project finally came aware of, the extent of which we're opening up this creative metaverse ecosystem in a way that other projects like even the Sandbox and Decentraland have not or don't intend to, just because of the limit. A lot of large whales in the space started picking up NFT worlds, and usually when that happens, there's a lot of follow-on buy, and that caused just this wave of a run-up as people just became more and more aware of what we're doing.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I think like it's pretty common like that. There's certain teams are just building a ton of stuff behind the scenes, or we're all building so quickly that it's sometimes hard to catch up and communicate like everything that's being built or everything that's coming together, which is a great thing because a ton of stuff is getting built, and also can be a challenge because we want to like share more and more and more things and just how this vision is coming together. But I think it's pretty amazing, like to just be able to communicate that vision really well. It was definitely cool to see everything that's being built there.
Yeah, totally. And I think overall, and just what we learned from that is like openness and transparency around like the development process and having the community involved along the way is really, it seems like the way forward, at least in building a successful project from what we've learned so far. And so that's kind of like our intended path forward too.
Yeah, for sure, that makes sense. And then just kind of like on the space as a whole, what are your kind of, I know you must be heads down building, but I'm curious from you and from Minnie, I like to get the update weekly here to share with the community just what your thoughts are on where we're at right now, just on the state of NFTs and going into Christmas here, or just the time that we're in. Do you have any thoughts, just where we're at as far as kind of the development of the overall space?
Yeah, I think it's still really early. I'm really excited to see how much of a catalyst this big upcoming Coinbase marketplace launch is going to be for the space overall. right? Because like the statistics on OpenSea is it's something like 600,000 buyers, and you open it up to Coinbase, there's a potential, not a guarantee, but a potential for there something like 60 million customers to have access to purchasing NFTs at that point. And so, yeah, that's an interesting one to me. I think that in the future going forward, we're seeing a lot of projects moving away from like this very early just being profile picture art phase into, to either sustain or to get recognized as a new project. You really have to build in utility and innovate on the technical side now, which I think is good for the ecosystem. It's going to further cement like these aren't just JPEGs, which is I feel like the general consensus of people who don't necessarily understand NFTs yet, but they give greater access to like actually valuable ecosystems and utility and things that are either content or perks that people want access to.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Minnie, do you want to jump in there as well?
Yeah, I think I agree with what was said. Um, I'd say NFTs, they were all about the art in the beginning. That's all it was, If your art was good, people would buy it. But now, with the fact that an NFT is it's a non-fungible token, there is token in the name, and so it became kind of like the actual tokens we see in the way that they grow and everything. So you have to follow, you have to evolve uh, because you're in a space that works a certain way. So you have to build and give value to all your community through, I would say, new projects and stuff like that. And so you can stay an art project, Our project, I would say, I'm the artist, but I would say it has pretty good art. So yeah, but I want to bring this further, and I think that's what everyone should strive to do: evolve, build something on top, and because when you have the community, you just need to build something on top, and you'll be successful, I would say, because there are a lot of projects that are really interesting. They have a lot of good devs and everything like that, but they don't have the community, and so I think if you have the community, everything you build, they will follow. And yeah, I think that's it basically. You have to grow if you're an NFT project, and we're trying to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely community is a top factor, especially as I think we've seen, the dev teams too behind projects and the art teams kind of get better and better at like creating more and more projects and just being able to mint and mint and mint and mint, which means that there's so many projects now compared to a few months ago. It's just like it's pretty saturated. So I agree, like you really have to build that utility. It's cool. That's why it's exciting to be part of a project like that, but also to on ArkDev on your side, just to see a project that's basically like purely focused on the utility and enabling other communities doing so well, because I think that's exactly what we need to like actually have these spaces too that we can represent and interact in and come together as a community. I think like it's going to be more important than ever to like really have I think I might have cut out there for a second, but to really have these spaces.
Yeah, definitely. Just evolving the overall ecosystem of the space is, from our standpoint and these other metaverse project standpoints too, and projects like Axo that are building their own metaverse too as well. Like I think it's important and it's the right direction at this point.
Cool. What's coming up for you guys on the roadmap, kind of in the shorter term?
Yeah, there's a lot. I've been like doing engineering work with our team internally, like 13ish hours every single day for like the last week. It's been a sprint for sure. We're working on multiplayer is scheduled to launch this month. So that means that world owners are going to be able to get their worlds online for other people to join. We're targeting getting our game client launched. So it's basically the layer that you'll start the NFT Worlds game from. It is tied into Minecraft, but it acts as if it's its own game. It just runs on the Minecraft engine underneath. That's going to open up the ability to browse through currently online worlds that you can just instantly hop into and see like where other people are playing just from the game client. That we're wanting to get out this month. I think we will. And then we also have the token airdrop / snapshot scheduled for this month. And as of recently, we're actually starting to work with the team behind the Polygon Narni bridge, who is starting to work on some potential implementation there, since we haven't 100% figured out exactly the sidechain or L2 solution we want to have the transaction layer on for in-game transactions for the token. That should be figured out this month as well. So some really big pieces that are all going to tie in together and back into the game.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot coming out. That's super exciting, and definitely on the the L2 side is going to be fascinating to see just what kind of there's people trying a lot of different things. Let's just say that, and it's going to be interesting to see like what ends up being the like go-to solution, or maybe there's a few of them for these kinds of like in-game transactions and things like that.
Totally, yeah.
You've been happy with what you've seen on the Polygon side, though?
Yeah, the default bridge back from Polygon to ETH, it's kind of expensive on the gas side, but the way the Narni bridge is set up, it reduces that by like 10-20x. It's less proven, which is why we're kind of like at this point about like going that route. But I've been talking with the founder of that for the last couple of days, and I'm getting a deeper understanding of the technicals and like the long-term rigidity of that system. I think also with Polygon, like you look at the other top metaverse projects, Sandbox and Decentraland, their Mana and Sand token are either on Polygon right now, or they're in the process of actively moving it over to Polygon for their transaction layer. And it's like, if these projects are also looking at that system is the means for transacting, I think it's safe to assume that with how many other huge projects are on Polygon already, like that it is probably a safe bet at this point, aside from the bridge considerations. So
cool. Yeah, that's good insight. We're definitely exploring solutions on that side as well. So very cool to hear. Cool. I think in the interest of time here, maybe we can jump into there's just a few questions in our chat as far as AMA questions go. Anyone that's listening, if you want to join our Discord, we have a weekly AMA questions channel. You can dump them in there, or if there's ones you want to throw into the NFT worlds chat as well. I don't know if there's any you want to pick up from there. Also, ArkDev, if some jump up at you.
sure.
But cool. First, just a few ones here for Mini. I think maybe you can address this. When Axo Aquarium can't wait anymore. From Kylo. There's also they also ask about if the team's considering adding to LP after the Axolotls have utility. On this front, again, this is gonna have to be community driven as far as the actual token goes. We're working on building the utility around it, but we'll have more updates around that. But as far as the actual market goes, that's really gonna have to be driven from the community side. So we can definitely weigh in there as well. Minnie, do you want to address the Axo Aquarium?
So the devs told me they could work really fast. How fast? I guess it depends if we want still to add new stuff. But I'm wondering if I should give a number. Probably not. But I guess maybe between 1 week and I don't know. Let's give us a big window. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't want to give a number because I know what can happen. But yeah, our devs are really efficient because the most complicated thing was creating the art, and that's where we found a lot of issues because I had a lot of fun creating all the art, adding a lot of random hue rotations and stuff like that on attributes, and so to track that and to bring it back into the 3D world, it got a little bit complicated. But we're pretty much there, I would say. And so it would also depend on the finishes that we want to add. I guess the final touches. I'm trying to get a good room, a good place where the Axolotls can walk around in the first version. So maybe that can take a little bit more time, but I don't think so. So yeah, I would say pretty soon, and we'll try to post as much sneak peeks as possible. And yeah, and maybe I can also answer the token again. As Zaiter said, we're not going to. So it's mostly because Otter told me, but yeah, Zaiter said we're not going to bootstrap the liquidity LP token ourselves, because if you provide direct, so I don't remember how exactly Otter said it, but we shouldn't provide directly money for the LP, because otherwise we can get a little close to the security aspect of tokens, and that's really not something that we would like. So yeah,
Yep,
that's
makes
basically
sense.
it.
And just another note on the, yeah, thanks for sharing about the art. I would say we're, for our community too, we're over the biggest hurdles, which are the actual uh, um, transferring and creating the entire collection in 3D, which has been quite a challenge. And now we're making decisions as far as like, what do we want to ship for version 1 and what are the final touches we want to put on. So we're working to get that to you as quickly as possible for version 1, so you can see and access your 3D Axos, and then we'll be building out the world around that. So I think really exciting, and we'll keep you updated there. This next question is for ArkDev. I think this is a pretty serious question from the 13 Ninjas. Are we sure ArkDev is a human? I want someone to confirm he doesn't sound human. 13 hours a day, learning all of Polygon, multiplayer this year. Come on, guys, we're not fools.
God. Yeah, definitely human. Just been a software engineer for many years now, so I guess I'm just lucky enough that this stuff comes relatively easy, but that's just a trade-off for all the time spent in not living a normal human life. I just sit in front of a computer all day, so.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely impressive to see what's being built over there. If we can use bubbles in our NFT world, this is from Surf Kiwana. Will we be able to swap them for the Universal World Token? Is there any? Has your team thought about kind of the markets around those types of exchanges?
That's a great question. I think a swap layer between like the unified world token and all of these community projects that come into NFT worlds and their token, I think that would be really cool. I think it would lend some really good market dynamics to the ecosystem. It's not something that we've actively talked about, but like I think in just raising that, my immediate answer would be like, yeah, that's something we definitely want to explore in the future. But it's not on the roadmap currently, but I'm almost positive if we don't build it first, someone else, given how the open layer system is going to work, would build it. So you can probably expect to see that.
Yep, cool. Very cool. That's exciting, and looking forward to seeing how that develops. Minnie chimed in here. I think we need to send you a CAPTCHA to read live to really prove that you're not a robot, but we can do that. That might be a good idea for the future. Cool. I think that sidechains for NFT worlds, sidechains for Axos can work together on sidechains. Says Toast going to make it. I think that's just more of a comment. I think definitely we'll be sharing ideas, and we're really curious what your best solution ends up being, so that we can look into that too. Cool. So I think that's all the questions here. Reminder that we are giving away an NFT World 6303. Thank you to the NFT Worlds for contributing this. It's really exciting to see a bunch of people reacting. Looks like we have about 300 people that have already entered and retweeted this. So be sure to go check that out. Follow Axolittles and NFT Worlds. Really excited about this collaboration, everything that you're building, and how we can kind of build our utility into that as well. Thank you so much for joining ArkDev. Anything else that you want to add on your side?
No, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for having me, and these talks are fun, and maybe we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you, Minnie, also for joining on your side.
Yeah, thank you. It was awesome.
Cool. Well, I think that wraps it up here. Thanks, everyone. We'll keep you all updated on the winner. In 72 hours, we'll be choosing this and sending it out to one lucky winner, so you can build out your new NFT world. Super exciting. And then you can walk around in it in your Axo skin eventually when multiplayer comes out. So great to see both communities coming together. Thank you both for being here, and we'll keep everyone updated as far as the winner goes in 72 hours. All right, thanks everyone, and that's going to wrap it up now.
Thank you. See you later.
Thanks, guys. See you later.